Hello and welcome to IvyLearn Content Partners web series. Today we will be talking to you about how to set up your course using Pearson Materials. My name is Ryan Falquist. I'm with the Center for Instructional Technology at Ivy Tech Community College. And joining me today is Shalon Anderson and Rob Thomas from Pearson. And I'll be handing it over to Rob to present this morning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that introduction, Ryan. As he mentioned, I am Rob Thomas with Pearson, and today we're going to be talking about Pearson's standard integration. We want to make sure that we draw a distinction. This only applies to the standard integrated courses, so our Include Ed integration is different. It requires virtually no instructor setup, and I have a list on my screen right now of the courses that this session does not apply to. It does apply to all of the other courses using Pearson's MyLab and Mastering Materials in the IvyLearn environment. So I'll leave that up for a second. Again, good morning. And I'll jump now into the actual IvyLearn courses to talk about that integration setup. When you've entered your IvyLearn course, the first step is you'll want to navigate to the MyLab and Mastering tool, which is on the left-hand menu. By clicking the MyLab and Mastering tool, that's going to load up the tool from which you'll conduct most of your grade sync and student access to the MyLab and Mastering product. Under instructor links on the right-hand side, I have the option select a MyLab and Mastering product to use with this course. That indicates that you don't have a Pearson MyLab and Mastering product presently paired with your IvyLearn course. We'll go ahead and click select a MyLab and Mastering product to use with this course. That the first time you click on that, it'll ask you for your Pearson credentials. Since I've already entered Pearson credentials with this account, it won't ask me a second time. And we are providing documentation on how to enter in those credentials. If you've used a Pearson MyLab and Mastering product in the past, you're able to use the same username and login to pair your accounts. That only happens once. You will receive a course ID that is typically going to be designer followed by 5 digits. That course ID will allow you to copy the appropriate course that's been designed for your section. You'll enter this into the copy existing course bar here at the bottom left. Next to course ID, you'll either hit enter, return, or this magnifying glass. I'll go ahead and click the magnifying glass, and that will show me the course that's been created. I'll click select, and this is where I'll actually create the course. I'll enter the course name according to the naming conventions that you've been provided so that it can be identified within the system as your section. And it's very important. We'll want to make sure that this maintains a student use course. You won't need an instructor use course. You'll want this to be enrollable by students. So student use course, the naming convention you've been provided. Additional instructors will not need to copy this particular course, so this check mark can be left blank. And then your course dates. We recommend the course start date be the present date, whatever date you're creating your section, and the course end date will be whatever it needs to be for your course. Typically, we recommend that courses be open a week or so after the final exam, but if you've been directed to use a different course date, please enter those. I'm going to click Create Course, and that's all of the steps you need to do in order to create a course. You will receive a reference number, and Pearson Technical Support can look up courses by that reference number if they fail to create for whatever reason, or if you need technical assistance, you can keep that reference number for your reference. I'll move back now to the IvyLearn space. When I click on MyLab and Mastering tool again from the left-hand menu, now I see that I have MyLab and Mastering specific links that have appeared. So instead of seeing select a MyLab and Mastering product used with this course, I have links that direct into the in this case, My Accounting Lab course. You and your students can both use these links to access the My Accounting Lab or Mastering product. There will be a MyLab course home link or a modified Mastering course home link. and then specific links to various aspects of the course. We recommend for the full experience of the MyLab, if a student is going to be working in the course, to use My Accounting Lab or whatever the MyLab product course home button is. That's going to launch the full experience. They can go specifically to their assignments page, to reports page, to multimedia library pages as well. These instructor links will take you directly into the instructor portions of the course if there's any changes that need to be made to the course as you work through it. If I click to view support tools down at the bottom here, that's how students and you are able to get in touch with Pearson 24/7 technical support. I'll click on Pearson support for students and instructors, and that actually launches me out to our knowledge base articles where you and the students can open cases with Pearson technical support. You will receive a case number. You can communicate or connect with them via live chat or a phone call, and you'll receive numbers specific to your product through that process. If you, for any reason, or your students need to contact technical support may ask for diagnostics. That's listed up here at the top of the tool. These diagnostics give a lot of information about the integration and identify which user is in use. When I click on diagnostics from this top space, I can actually click download diagnostics report, and that will download a .text file that I can attach to my cases or email to my support groups. Courses typically create within 5 to 10 minutes. During peak times, it may take a little bit longer for those to create. So I expect this to be created very soon for us. I'll go ahead and click on assignments to show what the course looks like prior to performing a grade sync. In your IvyLearn assignments tab, we'll want to make sure that there's a top group for MyLab assignments in your course. When you perform a grade sync, it will actually pull the assignments from the MyLab and Mastering product and place them into your Canvas or IvyLearn Canvas course. So I have an empty MyLab item space. I have discussion questions that were built within IvyLearn, so I don't need to work very much with those, but the MyLab items is empty before I perform a grade sync. I'll click on MyLab and Mastering again, go back to my tool, and I'll click on Grade Sync. Now that the course is created, I have all of the assignments that are included in my course listed. I can sort those by alphanumeric. If I click on item name, now I see chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can check the boxes for those items and click Grade Sync. This is how the first time I add assignments into my IvyLearn gradebook or assignments page. And if I want to update or refresh grades and pull in the present scores of students for assignments, I can click Sync Grades at any time. When I click Sync Grades, I get an in-progress window. You'll want to make sure you do not navigate away from this page while this is in process. And on the right-hand side, I do see status bar that shows me exactly where in the grade sync process the grade sync is. So I can see that it's moving through the course. I'm now at chapter 11, chapter 12, and it's moving through the rest of the course, and I get to the final exam, the orientation activity. All of my grades have now been synced. The in progress option has disappeared. And so now when I go to assignments, in my assignments tab in IvyLearn, I see under MyLab items, all of those assignments that I just synced over now appear. The due dates from the MyLab and Mastering product will also flow into your IvyLearn course. So I can see the Chapter 1 Dynamic Study module is due June 8th at 11:59 p.m. And those due dates have pulled over. Those also appear on the calendar. I'll move over to the calendar here to show that. And so on your calendar, I'll move over to June where that due date lives. I can see that those assignments do appear on my calendar within my IvyLearn space. If I click on any of those assignments, I can actually move into that particular assignment page in that particular course. When students first click on the links on the left-hand side, these student links, they won't see the instructor links on the right-hand side. When the students first click on those, the student will be asked to to register using their Pearson MyLab and Mastering account. If they've used a Pearson product and they passed, they can use the same username and password that they used previously, and they'll be prompted through this purchase options, registering with an access code, or we have included with our MyLab and Mastering products 14-day temporary access that the students can use. We will have documentation following up on those processes for you and your students. On the modules page, we've included instructor guides for My Accounting Lab and links over to specific places. These would have been provided for you. So there's My Accounting Lab Course Home, My Accounting Lab Study Plans. If these modules need to be adjusted, you can do that within your courses and add specific assignments after a grade sync has been completed. That is available depending on your course structure. When I click into the grades portion of my IvyLearn course, I'll see that the grades mirror the assignments page. So I have all of the MyLab assignments now listed, and on the far right side, I see in my IvyLearn gradebook the MyLab items that are included there, and I'll see a running average and weighted total of those as determined from the assignments page. At this point, I'd like to open up to any questions. That is what I wanted to show you about how to pair your courses, your Pearson MyLab and Mastering courses, with your IvyLearn courses, how to find your diagnostics, and perform a grade sync to sync your assignments over and update your IvyLearn gradebook.
Great. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions at this time, please feel free to go ahead and just type them into the question. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any questions at this time. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and conclude our webinar. So this is part of the IvyLearn Content Partners webinar series that we're doing, and how to set up your course using Pearson Materials. I want to thank Shalon Anderson and Rob Thomas from Pearson. And again, we're going to go ahead and conclude this webinar at this time. The recording will be on our website here very shortly. So thank you all for your time, and thank you again, Rob, for your presentation.
Absolutely, thank you.